Salvete discipuli. In this video, we will continue the exciting story of Salvius as he is trying to find Quintus and Dumnorix. And we will also learn how to tell the difference between what we call deponent verbs, active verbs, and how to translate their past participles. Okay, so picking up where we left off, Salvius has sent people, they're searching through the town, they can't find Quintus, they can't find Dumnorix, and they came up with the idea, let's get one of the slaves of either Dumnorix or of Quintus, and let's torture that person, and that person may be able to give us information. So, picking up from there. Bellimicus subito rediit exultans. Bellimicus suddenly returned exulting. Okay, always worth remembering. NSNT equals ING. Servum quinti in medium atrium traxit. He dragged a slave of Quintus into the middle of the atrium. Notice, Bellimicus is the subject of the first verb. Since there is not a stated subject of the second verb, traxit, the singular third-person verb, you just assume the previous subject and you use the pronoun he. Ubi est Quintus Caecilius rogavit Salvius, quo fugit Dumnorix? Where is Quintus Caecilius? Asked Salvius. To where did Dumnorix flee? Okay, so this word quo means to where. Okay, in Old English we had this word whither. Okay, so in other words, to where. Nescio inquit servus. I don't know, said the slave. Now we're going to have a little mini lesson in both relative clauses and also, importantly, deponent verbs and how to translate their past participles. I don't know, said the slave, who, having suffered many torments. Okay, so in a little bit, we're going to be doing a little review of this. Passus is a past participle of a deponent verb. Past participles of deponent verbs are active and can take an object. Multa tormenta is many tortures. So how do we know a deponent verb? Simple. When you look up a verb in the dictionary, if you see something like this, okay, there's three forms. 1, 2, 3, and then you have the definition, okay? Also, look at this. It's an OR. Okay, so if you see three forms and an OR, you have a deponent verb. And passus, right here, the third form is going to be the past participle. It means having suffered or having allowed. In this case, having suffered many tortures. An active verb. How do you know an active verb? Take a look at this. Instead of three forms, 1, 2, 3, 4 forms before the dictionary entry. And also, look at this. There's not an OR, there's just an O. Okay? So again, deponent, OR, 3 forms. Active, O, 4 forms. And then here's the key. The past participle, and the past participle of an active verb is that 4th form. The past participle of an active verb is passive. And so it means sent, having been sent. Let's look at another one. This is another active verb. How do you know? Well, look, there's an O and there's 4 forms, okay? So the past participle of an active verb, and you know it's active because it's got this O, is passive. So if the verb means to see, the past participle is seen, having been seen. Let's look at one more. It's a deponent verb. How do we know? Because of this OR and only 3 forms, okay? And remember, the past participle of a deponent verb is active, having used. And so this particular verb, usus, takes actually an ablative object. So implemento usus would mean having used the tool. Okay, deponent verb. How do we know? OR. Look at the OR. Also 3 forms. What would be then, how would you translate the active past participle of this verb, which means to speak? Locutus. Locutus means having spoken. And it can take an object, like hoc verbum locutus, having spoken this word. Okay, moving on. I don't know, said the slave, who, having suffered many tortures, already could scarcely say anything. Okay? Nihil scio. I know nothing. Bellimicus, cum haec audi viset gladium de strictum ad jugulum servi tenuit. Bellimicus. Now remember, cum, what can cum mean? It can mean with, but also when it's not followed by an ablative, when. Bellimicus, when he had heard. Now, haec literally just means these, but these things, these words, feel free to add something like that. He held a drawn sword to the neck of the slave, okay? Tenuit is your verb, held, okay? Gladium de strictum. De strictum is the past participle of an active verb, drawn or having been drawn. Where did he hold it? Ad jugulum. We get the word jugular vein from this, okay? And this here, servi, this is a genitive singular to the neck of the slave. Melius est tibi inquit verum salvio dicere. It is better for you, he said, to speak the truth to Salvius. You know what the slave's going to do? He's going to tell it all. Servus, qui jam de vita sua desperabat, quibum sextierum tantum paravi inquit susurrans. Let's talk about it. The slave, who already was despairing about his life, said, whispering, I've run over here, inquit susurrans, again, NS, NT equals ING. Paravi, I prepared. What did I prepare? Tantum, only. I prepared only. Now, literally, quibum sextierum means I prepared only food 6 of days. Just think for a moment. Turn that into English. I prepared only food 6 of days. What might you say instead? I prepared only 6 days worth of food. Nihil aliud feci. I did nothing else. Now, Salvius is a smart guy. How far can you get with 6 days worth of food? Well, you can't get to Rome, okay? You can't get to Egypt. They're obviously staying somewhere in Britannia, but they're going a distance. Dominus meus cum dum norige in ultimas partes Britanniae discessit. My master departed. Departed is discessit. Okay, remember, Latin frequently has the last word of the sentence is the verb. My master departed with dum norix. Look, I've got a typo. Okay, just imagine there's an N there. Departed with dum norix into the farthest parts of Britannia. Salvius knows who is in the farthest parts of Britannia. Salvius, Hercle inquit ad agricolam iverunt. Salvius said, by Hercules, they went to Agricola. Agricola is the Roman general in charge of the entire military operation going on right now. And Salvius does not want Agricola to find out about some of the stuff he's been doing against Cogidubnus. This could end up, if by some chance Quintus gets there and tells Agricola the story, Salvius knows he could get in trouble. Okay, so again, let's make sure this is the most important thing you're going to learn this week. The distinction between an active verb and a deponent verb. Again, there's several things to note. The most important thing, if you have an O, you have an active verb. If you have an OR, you have a deponent verb. A secondary point to take note of, 4 forms listed in the dictionary for active, 3 forms listed in the dictionary for deponent. The 4th form of active, the 3rd form of deponent, that is to say the last form of each, is the past participle. And the past participle of an active verb is passive, heard, having been heard. The past participle of a deponent verb, however, is active. The other one's passive, this one's active, having urged. Amicum hortatus. It can take an object, you see, having urged the friend. Okay, so now it's your turn, okay? How would you translate paratus versus ingressus? Think it through. I'm going to give you a moment. First of all, how do you know it's active? You know, I should have taken these away, right? I mean, I'm telling you right here it's active deponent. But I want you to know it's an O, that's active. OR, it's deponent. So how do you translate them? Paratus, prepared, having been prepared. Ingressus, having entered. Culinam ingressus, having entered the kitchen.